from beautiful Corpus Christi, Texas. Today it's the Miller Lite South Texas Open. Our championship final, Kent Steffes, Emmanuel Rego, Albert Hannemann, and Kevin Wong. Albert Hannemann and Kevin Wong against Kent Steffes and Emmanuel Rego. Crowd filling in nicely. Hannemann and Wong lost the toss. They will start on the bad side. And the bad side is bad today, Michael.
If you can see the flags above the grandstands, they're just whipping, the wind whipping out of the south. And Steffes and Emmanuel, if they get that first side out, they're ready to go.
Albert Hannemann, 6'3", 200 pounds. Trains in Manhattan Beach, California. First serve going to Kent Steffes. And a chance for an early point. Here comes Hannemann. And Hannemann puts it away. Hannemann very outgoing. He's a model in his spare time, a big-time fashion model. And
someone's got to tell him it's just 1-0, though.
I tell you what, I think it's very important they come out here and establish that they're going to play hard and not roll over.
Not only establish it, but get the fans into it, and that's something that these guys can do.
Hannemann with the serve, leading 1-0. Here's Rego, and Rego taps it into the corner.
Now the real key of the match begins. Can Albert and Kevin handle the jump serves of Steffes and Emmanuel?
Emmanuel is 25 years old, 6'4", 175 pounds, born in Curitiba, Brazil. He's been utilizing the Curitiba highway down the middle for aces, but that time going to the left of Hannemann, he gets the ace.
The Brazilian low road, and again, they are going to come out. They've got a stiff breeze in their face. They're just going to bomb these jump serves. And Hannemann and Wong have to scramble to get side out. That's how you stay in the match.
1-1 in a game to 15. Here's Rego. And Hannemann diving, and Steffes pounding. So Kent Steffes off the effective serve of Emmanuel Rego.
And when you get someone to overpass 5-0 to your partner, that's as good as an ace.
Emmanuel is married, living in Redondo Beach now, as Steffes patrols the net. He's got a son who's 8 months old, Matthias. So Emmanuel will serve. Once again, Loyola out this week with a strained knee. He'll be back next week. And another serve, ace on Kevin Wong. Now, we can tell you that Kevin Wong came out very late out of the medical tent where he was getting IV treatment. You'll see the little orange or pink bands on the left arms. They got some intravenous treatment, and he was very late coming out, Mike. May have affected his warm-up.
I tell you, you can tell the body language. You have Steffes and Emmanuel coming out 20 minutes before the match, banging balls. Kevin Wong coming out in the last 3 minutes, getting ready for the match. They're just not ready right now.
So a quick 20-second timeout taken by Kevin Wong and Albert Hannemann. Hannemann and Wong, their best finish this year was a 5th. They've only played in 4 tournaments together.
That's right, Chris. They took a 9th, then they took a 5th, thought they were on a roll, then came up with a couple of 17s, got some bad draws. But now they're in the final. They're glad they stuck together. They both did an IV bag before the final. They both came out late, and they've got to try to establish themselves and get a couple more points and get into this match and get the crowd into it.
Got to get the ball up in the air right now because Emmanuel is serving hard. Here's Kevin Wong, first spike attempt. Wong, a big guy from UCLA, and he buries it. So Kevin Wong over the top. He was a 2-time national champion at UCLA under Al Skates. He won NCAA titles in 1993 and 95. Got a great brother, Scott Wong, who's playing for Pepperdine, and he can blast, can he, Mike?
And let's watch Kevin going high over the block.
The ensuing serve is into the bottom of the net.
And it's very interesting. Kevin Wong has become one of the better blockers on our tour. Yet this weekend, he and Albert are changing off each serve in the blocking duties. And Albert Hannemann, although the shortest player on the court, has come up with some big blocks throughout this tournament.
Kent Steffes serving it up. Kent now 30 years old. Shank pass out of the net. Here comes Hannemann, and Hannemann that cannot clear. So weary looking first segment for Kevin Wong and Albert Hannemann. They're trying to pump each other up. They trail 4-1, but the good news is they're going to the good side. They'll have the wind in their face when we return to Corpus Christi, so stay with us. 4-1, Steffes and Emmanuel jumping early. The seeds this week kind of jumbled because of the absence of Jose Loyola. Steffes picking up Emmanuel, but it wasn't enough to give him the #1 seed.
No, they were third behind Johnson and Blanton. And that's the amazing. Kent has so many points. He takes a guy that's only played in 6 events the whole year and takes him up to the 3rd seed, and it's deserving. They're a great team. There you see Hannemann and Wong in 8th place, making it to the finals. That's a wonderful weekend for those guys, and important points later on in the season.
I always thought it was bad strategy. I'd ask some AVP guys, why don't you play with so-and-so? And he goes, well, he doesn't have any points. We won't get a good serve. I said, well, who cares? If he's a good player, you'll finish high.
Yeah, I've always thought that, too. Guys are always constantly, you know, with the calculators out, figuring out, well, what seed will I be with this guy? What seed will I be with that guy? Forget about the seeds. Get a guy you can play good with, and then beat everyone else on your way. You got to do it anyway.
So Albert Hannemann punching it through. Here comes Steffes. Hannemann, Wong down 4-1. They desperately need a side out here. Hannemann on the right. And he puts it away. So Albert Hannemann.
There he is, giving the raise the roof, trying to get the fans into it. Again, Steffes and Emmanuel just playing great cohesive defense together. Here's a soft block for Emmanuel. Steffes just not able to get it up with the left hand.
4-1. Albert Hannemann serving. He's got a good one when it's on. Here comes Rego. And Rego right there is Hannemann looking for a point. Albert. Not yet. Steffes goes and gets it. Hannemann lost his hat. Now he's going to get up. Can he put it away? Hannemann got it!
That's a great rally. Chris, players sprawled out all over the court. Ken Steffes gives a little apology to his boy Emmanuel. There's a nice pickup by Albert Hannemann. The rally continues. A nice dig. And probably the key here is Steffes is on this shot. He just thinks it's going out. And look, he's all disappointed.
Hannemann serves a strong one. It's 4-2. Look at that set. Going over. And did Wong touch it? They're saying Wong touched it, yes. And the ball going to Steffes and Emmanuel. What a set by Kent Steffes.
And a big break for Steffes and Emmanuel, because Wong should have been all over that ball, stuffing it down. Instead, he let it trickle through. And Steffes and Emmanuel, when you're on the bad side, do whatever you can to get the side out.
So Steffes at the net. Emmanuel serving. His team up 4-2. 1 game to 15. Have to serve it a lot easier when you're on the bad side. That's got to be a lift. Good call there. Explain that rule, Mike.
It's the driven ball rule. If the ball is spiked with a lot of heat coming right at you, you can take it with 2 open hands and kind of massage it over to your partner. But when it's kind of a half hit, you've got to get those hands together like your passing technique and pass the ball over to your partner.
Here's Kevin Wong spinning it to Steffes. And then Steffes hitting it off Albert Hannemann. Do you like the idea of Hannemann blocking and Wong patrolling in the backcourt?
Well, I like it when they're on the good side because Wong has a great jump serve. Let him go back there and rip it when they're on the good side. When they're on the bad side, I'd rather see Wong go up and block every ball.
Ken Steffes has been bothered this entire weekend with stomach problems. He told me earlier today that he was throwing up this morning. He didn't sleep much last night. Had either a little touch of food poisoning or some of that flu that's been going around, the Mike Dodd flu.
And it's interesting, I talked to Albert Hannemann, and he said he was a little under the weather, too, this week. And just talking to guys, I've noticed sometimes when you're a little under the weather, you conserve your energy, you concentrate a little more, and a lot of times you end up playing better.
4-2. Hannemann and Wong are trailing. And now it's going to be 4-3. So, folks, if you're volleyball fans, you know it. The good side is really good today. The bad side is really bad.
And Hannemann celebrating another ace serve. You know, he's got the feel, he's got the mojo, he's got the crowd with him. Step back there and rip the ball.
3 official aces ripped so far, and a bunch of service winners as Hannemann whacks it into the bottom of the net. We told you he's a model. He's got a full page in J. Crew right now. He's in the Nautica campaign, and he's also doing stuff for Men's Fitness. So Albert Hannemann, one of the top fashion models in the world. Also a terrific volleyball player, playing in his first final. He was jacked up. Here he comes. And he hits it off the block, out of bounds.
Great penetration cross court for Steffes. Ball just kind of ricocheting off his arm out of bounds. And again, Wong's going to step back here and rip it. Here you see Albert going off of Ken Steffes' block, out of bounds.
Kevin Wong serving. It's 4-3. Steffes. And there the pose down. Hannemann with the stuff.
Hannemann breaking out the Samoan shuffle after that block. He just reaches into Kent's cross court. Boom. And there's the celebration.
Wong serving. 4-4. There comes Steffes. And Steffes tapping it right over Albert Hannemann. So Kent Steffes and Emmanuel Rego, after getting some easy points on the good side, maybe a little bit of a letdown. And now it's tied up 4-4 as Kent Steffes gets sets to serve. Kent with 105 open wins. He's fourth on the all-time list behind Smith, Karai, and Stokely. Still 30 ahead of Mike Dodd. Cut shot, Steffes is there. Rego pokes and gets the point. Big point on the bad side.
Just a nice, smooth defensive play by Kent Steffes. Again, a little under the weather, but he's anticipating well, and he's focused.
If you're wondering, Kent Steffes, despite the fact that he's sick, he has never cramped in the tournament, never been forced out.
And that was just a nice, controlled defensive play, setting up his partner, Emmanuel.
5 serving 4 in the championship final. Steffes tries to roll it down the line, but he can't.
And there's another example, having that wind at his back. If he was serving into the wind, that ball would have dipped in for an ace. Instead, it sails out of bounds.
You mentioned Albert Hannemann. His dad, Miller, is Samoan from Hawaii. His mom, Croatian, actually from Yugoslavia back then. Mom's name is Jan. He's got the Samoan-Croatian mix going. And he's right there, looking to Samoa one. Hannemann, got it! Al Hannemann, brother of Nick Hannemann and Chris Hannemann.
Despite the poor start, they came back out on the good side, did what they had to do, tying up the match.
Crowd is alive here in Corpus Christi, Texas. We are coming back to the beach. Hannemann and Wong 5, Steffes Emmanuel 5. They are trying to pull, well, the upset of the year on the beach in the AVP. Albert Hannemann and Kevin Wong have never won a tournament together. They've never been in a final, never higher than 5th in a tournament. And they're right there right now. Here's Kevin Wong. And Wong puts it away. And Steffes and Emmanuel complaining to referee Jeff Jordan.
I'm trying to figure out what they're complaining about, because it seemed like the net play was all good. It didn't look like Wong went over on any play. Okay, there might have been complaining that if he followed through over the net, which you're allowed to do.
I think that was fine. 6-5, Hannemann and Wong have really picked it up since trailing 4-1. Hannemann up in the air. Tough chance here. Wong. And right back to Emmanuel. He should put this ball away. And he does. Emmanuel, a little anger in that spike.
Little thunder, but great play by Hannemann and Wong. They don't have the control on the defensive plays. Keep the ball in, keep the pressure on. Emmanuel puts it away this time, but maybe next time they steal another point on the bad side.
Emmanuel set to serve. His team trailing 6-5. On the good side now. And Kevin Wong getting looser and looser. And Wong slugs it through. You know, I asked Kevin Wong earlier today, why do you play defense? You're so big. Wouldn't it be better for you to stay up with them? He says, you know, Chris, I scoop balls. I scoop balls, which means I'm a good defensive player.
That's right. Well, he was an accomplished indoor player. Played a little back row, played a little defense, so...
He was scooping balls at UCLA as Emmanuel rolls one on the line.
Just catches the back line. And I think every volleyball player deep inside wants to be complete. I know playing with Mike Whitmarsh, he used to have to go up to the net all the time, even though he was a great athlete and he could play defense. And you want to be able to show that. You want to be able to show the people that you're a complete player.
6-5. Steffes and Emmanuel trail. Now they're tied up. Steffes guides one right on the outside of the black band.
That's what you call the untouchable serve, Chris. It just whipping outside of the court, coming back in right on the outside part of the line. Albert's just frozen. He just says, I'm going to have to watch that.
But I think you got to run over there. You should run over and take a look at it, don't you think? Your partner's got to be going, go, go, go. Get you over there. 6-6. And Steffes goes back the other way. If the first one was untouchable, what was that?
Well, that was cross court. That was definitely touchable. But what does Kent Steffes do, whether it's siding out or serving? He spreads the court out. He whips one down the line. What does he do the very next serve? The complete opposite sideline for another ace.
So Steffes and Emmanuel serving very well from the good side, and a good timeout, a quick one for Albert Hannemann and Kevin Wong. 5 minutes and 23 seconds to go here in Corpus Christi, Texas. Kent Steffes and Emmanuel leading 7-6.
Steffes and Emmanuel serving great. But Wong and Albert Hannemann already got 1 point on the bad side, so they've almost accomplished their mission already. They just want to try to scramble, get a couple more side outs, and if they can steal 1 more point on the bad side, go over to the good side and get 5, they're in the driver's seat.
So Kent Steffes set, ready to go. Aces of 5 of them total. There have been some service winners also, some bouncers. Pretty good pass by Hannemann. Here he comes. Emmanuel is there. Here comes Wong. He's off balance. Great dig by Emmanuel. Steffes shovels it over. Hannemann scooping to Wong. Wong's out of gas, but he puts it away. A little directionality for Kevin Wong.
And a great scramble play by both teams. But again, what do you want to do if you're Wong and Hannemann? You want to do anything possible. Cover your partner here. Shoot the ball around there. Do anything to scramble and get a side out and keep the pressure on the team that knows they have to score on the good side.
The ensuing serve is long. So Hannemann gives the ball back to Emmanuel. And Emmanuel will serve. Emmanuel, the #1 rated player on the international circuit the last 3 years. And now he's in the United States playing on the AVP tour and wants to compete with the best. Interesting, I asked Emmanuel early today, is Kent one of the best you've ever played with? And he said, yes. And I said, well, who is the best guy you've ever played with? And he goes, he is. Kent is. He's the best guy he's had so far. And he's already played with Loyola. Steffes shoveling it through Wong. Play continues. Ball came to a rest. Both people cranking it, and it's off Wong out of bounds.
Okay, but you know what Wong is arguing is that Kent Steffes on that joust touched the net. It looked to me like he did. And unfortunately, that's a rookie mistake for Hannemann and Wong, because you've got to keep playing even when you think that the players hit the net. Watch here. See, look, they stop. Kent thinks the ball's down. But
did you see a net there?
I thought Kent touched the net.
Well, despite the controversy, the ball goes to Steffes and Emmanuel. Kevin Wong, big guy, white hat, 6'7". Here he comes. He unloads cross court. The conventional wisdom is not to serve Wong. It's to serve Al Hannemann, although Wong is not a great outdoor passer. He made himself into a very good indoor passer.
And he's becoming a very complete beach player.
Yeah, getting a lot better.
And he's got the size. He's definitely got the attitude for beach volleyball.
7-6, Steffes Emmanuel by 1. Hannemann with a dig, right back to Emmanuel. And Emmanuel pops it down the line.
Chris, when I say you've got the right attitude for beach volleyball, I think a lot of indoor players sometimes have trouble making the transition because in indoor volleyball, you play with 6 guys, but you also have guys on the bench that come in and give you a breather or come in for you when you're not playing so good. In the beach, you've always got to play good.
Emmanuel serving his team up by 1, and that's going to be an ace. I don't think Hannemann can get there. Mark that as an ace for Emmanuel.
And that is just an excellent jump serve by Emmanuel. The ball's going to end up 20 feet out of bounds if he's serving behind him, but into the wind, that handcuffs Kevin Wong. He tries to make the overhead pass, and you just can't control that ball.
Wong and Hannemann, if you're wondering, have already used up their 2 sand timeouts. They're saving their full timeouts in an 8-6 game, 4:33 remaining. Emmanuel serving. Hannemann, good call there. Kevin Wong heard it up here, Mike.
Good line call and a great pass by Albert Hannemann. Again, a tough serve in the middle by Emmanuel. Hannemann controlling the pass, and that's the key to siding out when you're on the bad side.
So Kevin Wong, who met Albert Hannemann and got together with him playing-wise when they were doing promos for the Miller Lite Tour. They got in early, they roomed together, and they decided to play together. And then they got a 5th a couple of weeks ago, and now they're in the first final ever. 7-6, down to Steffes and Emmanuel. There's Kent Steffes, the winningest player on the tour in the 90s, with 105 titles. Ginger Smith on top with 139, in case you're wondering. He's the all-time leader. Ooh! Oh, you got to call that, don't you? That's got to be a call. That was not a driven ball, Mike Dodd. That's going to be a point, however.
Yeah, it was not a driven ball, but it hopped cleanly off his hand. Still a valid argument for Wong and Hannemann with Jeff Jordan.
All right, no call. Hannemann and Wong do get a point on the bad side. They'll be moving over when we come back. More AVP action right after this. Open, Steffes and Emmanuel leading by 3. Let's take a look at the Miller Lite rankings, Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes, the co-ranked #1 players on tour, according to the computer.
5 wins and 1/3. That's some pretty good rankings, some pretty good scoring. Karchkerai with a win and a few seconds and a third. You go down the line, and interestingly enough, you see Todd Rogers and Dak Holdren with 1 second. But if there was another category for fifths, they'd have 7 of them.
And, of course, all the Brazilians you've been seeing the last 3 weeks, Gomes and Emmanuel, all those guys are moving up, and moving up very, very quickly.
The Brazilian impact on the AVP tour continues, Chris.
All right, here we go. 9-6. Steffes and Emmanuel leading, but now they've gone on to the bad side where they gave up 4 out of 5 last time. So Steffes will float serve, and they're working on Hannemann. See if Hannemann and Wong can get some points over here. Hannemann right to Steffes. Oh, Wong poked it right to Emmanuel. He's on the right. He cuts it down the line out of bounds, and the kids get a break.
Kids get a break. They get a very important side out. I think this is the most critical time of the match for Wong and Hannemann. If they're going to make a move, if they're going to really make a final out of this, they've got to get at least 4 or 5 points on this good side.
Kevin Wong is just 21 years old. Hannemann is 28. Hannemann with 7 top 10 finishes so far this year, having a good year. And Rego, Emmanuel Rego, scuffs one on the line.
That is such a great athletic play, Chris. I mean, I don't think you can realize it watching on TV. The wind's blowing at his back. The ball's over his head. He reaches up and just rips the ball cross court. Keeping it in is a difficult thing to do when you've got that stiff of a breeze behind you.
9-6 lead. They'll try Kevin Wong. Wong, pokey. Emmanuel is there. Steffes with a flipper. Wong shovels it in. Big chance here. Steffes on the left. And Steffes with a good look and a point. That'll make it 10-6.
That play starts off poorly for Hannemann and Wong with a tight set. Steffes controls the block. And he and Emmanuel continue to communicate well on defense. Different open plays. Emmanuel calling cross court to Steffes. Puts the ball away for a point.
Down the line, Emmanuel is there. Looking for point number 11. Now Kevin Wong on the left, the side he played at UCLA. And the wind is hurting the guys on the good side. Steffes. Did he get a touch or did he hit the net?
He got a touch.
And a net. Point. So Steffes huffing and puffing, bothered by stomach problems. Wong huffing and puffing, just bothered by a long rally.
Steffes reminds me a little bit of Michael Jordan last year in the playoffs against Utah. He was dead sick. He was tired as a dog, but he carried on throughout that game and won the game. And Ken Steffes is doing the same thing right here.
Timeout taken by Wong and Hannemann. So Steffes and Emmanuel in command at the moment, leading 11-6. Miller Lite South Texas Open. Steffes and Emmanuel, the favorite team, leading 11-6 over Albert Hannemann and Kevin Wong. Crowd trying to rally Hannemann and Wong, who at one point had tied it up at 6-6. But Steffes and Emmanuel scoring 5 unanswered. Now Albert Hannemann has taken off his shirt. Let's see if that helps. Nope, he spins it out of bounds. I tell you, sometimes when the wind's in your face, you better control the ball also, because it's hard to hit from 30 feet back.
Because the wind will blow that pass back up the net, and this has been the kiss of death for Hannemann and Wong. They got over to the good side. They wanted to get out and get some points. Instead, they've given up 3 straight points.
Control the ball, pass low. That jumper's out of bounds, so Hannemann and Wong will have it. Kevin Wong this year, he got 2 13ths to start off with Raul Papaleo, a 9th with Rob Heiger, a 9th, a 5th, and 2 17ths with Albert Hannemann. This week, he's in the final, and he'll serve it up. Side out.
And that's just the pressure that Emmanuel and Steffes are putting on Wong and Hannemann right now. Kevin feeling he's got to come up with something special, serving another ball into the net.
Steffes and Emmanuel have led all the way. Just joined us. They jumped out 4-1. Hannemann and Wong came back to 5-5. We were tied 6-6, but since then, Steffes and Emmanuel looking a little bit fresher, a little bit better, communicating well, have jumped out to a 12-6 lead. This is our championship final, last match of the day. Kevin Wong, Emmanuel gets him. tell you, this Emmanuel is a terrific all-around player.
Again, Chris, no surprise to anyone that's been playing on the international tour. This guy has been great for years. Watch him get up and pike over. That's a great block. And when you've got very windy conditions, how do you really win a match? You go over to the bad side and you score points. And that's what Steffes and Emmanuel have done right now.
13-6 now. If Wong and Hannemann have anything left, Hannemann does. Hannemann down the middle. So Albert Hannemann.
So Albert Hannemann saying, this is my first final. This is my first walk in the sun. I want to make this last a little bit longer. Come on, let's get some side outs and get some points.
As the old guys used to say, you got to pass set. There's an ace for Albert. Albert said, I got one.
And Albert saying to the crowd, I still got a little bit left for you.
Timeout on the sand. The ace cards are up. 3:10 to go. 13-7 when we come back. Doing his thing in Corpus Christi.
Hey, you got to give Marvin credit. He and Chris McGee up in the condo just getting the crowd into it, and Albert Hannemann keeping that energy flowing.
Now he got two young ladies out of the crowd to dance with him, and when he walked down the beach, the ladies didn't know that they're supposed to follow the bootay. You got to follow down there, don't you?
Man when
follow
he makes his move around the court.
Dancing Marvin Hall. Oh, yeah. This part of the great ambience that the AVP provides on the Miller Lite Tour. That guy's good, but he's no Marvin Hall. First of all, he's in way too good a shape.
He's got to definitely throw down a few more meals.
All right, let's tell you where we are. Albert Hannemann with the ball, his partner Kevin Wong. They've never won a tournament, and they're down big now, 13-7. They played well, but they need a miracle here. They need to get some points and have Emmanuel and Steffes go to sleep. Chance right here. Wong sets Hannemann, and he hit it out. Boy, there was an excellent chance for Al Hannemann.
And the collective sigh from the crowd, because they realized that Hannemann had a great opportunity to get that 8th point. They've got to try to at least get to 11, get to a side switch so they can go over to the good side. But right now, Steffes and Emmanuel on the good side only need 2 points. They're in the driver's seat.
We've had a lot of aces today. Emmanuel's had 2. Wong pokes it. Emmanuel can't get there. And the kids stay alive.
And it was interesting when Albert Hannemann served that ace to get to 7 and get the side switch. Ken Steffes going over saying, Emmanuel, we did our job. We got to 13 on the bad side. So they know they're in the driver's seat.
Kevin Wong set to serve.
Must have been listening to the strategy, because here you see Kevin Wong coming up the block on the bad side.
And it's through Wong. Just out of curiosity, have you seen Kevin Wong's brother play indoors? Scott Wong, the kid from Puno High School in Hawaii.
I haven't seen him.
He is fabulous.
Yeah.
6'5" bomber who's a dead ringer for Kevin. Plays at Pepperdine. Pepperdine finishing 2nd in the NCAA tournament this year to Al Skates in UCLA. But there's a kid that might be out on the AVP tour one day. Maybe Wong and Wong. Here comes Hannemann, trying to hang on, and he hit it out. So Albert Hannemann, he was running low before he came into this match. He told me he had twitches in his calf. They have done a great job. They beat Baumgartner and Schneider. They beat Davenport and Friedrichsen. They upset Karch Karai and Adam Johnson, then wedged by Rob Hyder and Troy Tanner, and now they face match point against the powerhouse of Steffes Emmanuel.
Win or lose, great showing for those guys and great heart.
Just try to hang on, get one side out. Here comes Wong. Oh, Steffes 35 feet in the air. Can he put it away? For the win, yes!